A training lesson plan, also called a session plan, is an organized description of the activities and resources you'll use to guide a group toward a specific learning objective. A lesson plan is a written record of training. It includes essential content that you've identified to meet learning objectives. It details the subject matter you'll teach, how long each section should take, the methods of instruction for each topic covered, and the measures you'll use to check that people have learned what you need them to learn. To develop a lesson plan, it's useful to use a standard lesson plan template. This helps you organize material consistently over sessions and avoid duplicating topics. The following 4 steps will walk you through the development of a lesson plan using a helpful template as your guide. Note that there are hundreds of options when it comes to lesson plan templates. Consider Greg's lesson plan template the resource followed in this guide. This template has been proven to easily organize content, provide facilitators with the information they need to know, and deliver a great session. Always feel free to tweak the template to your needs. First, we'll develop a course title. Creating powerful, attention-grabbing course titles may seem like an easy feat. However, creating course titles that attract the right audience and give them clear and concise glimpses and benefits to what they'll receive in a training course can be a challenge. Without even looking at your course description, anyone should be able to quickly and concisely understand what to expect and how your course will help them solve their real-world challenges. Here are some tips that you can use when creating course titles. 1. Make your audience a promise. There's a famous line from a movie that also appears to serve as a great tip for creating course titles. Make them an offer they can't refuse. Provide them with the opportunity that they simply can't pass up through your course title. 2. Create a sense of intrigue. We humans are curious creatures. If something is mysterious or only gives us a small glimpse into a topic, we usually want to know more. Number 3. Give them a remedy for their need. Learners viewing your course title and description have one thing in common. Whether they want to develop their professional skill set or learn more about a topic that interests them, they all have an educational need. Number 4. Be as descriptive as possible without being verbose. One of the most challenging things about creating a course title is not figuring out what it can offer your learners, but whittling it down so that it's clear and concise as possible. You need to walk the fine line between being descriptive and being verbose, since potential learners will only be glancing over a course description or a course title for a brief moment. Number 5. Think about the context. If you're developing a course that only appeals to certain individuals, such as one that's intended for staff members in a particular department, then consider the context in creating your course title. For example, if you're designing an online training course that deals with technical support skills, rather than creating a title like Technical Support for Beginners, you might want to opt for Technical Support for Customer Service Enhancement. Number 6. Don't sacrifice clarity for creativity. It can be tempting to go overboard when creating a course title. You may want to be as innovative and unique as possible, but you should never sacrifice clarity for the sake of creativity. Number 7. Get them excited about learning. Last but certainly not least, you need to generate excitement with your course titles. Learners need to be able to almost immediately feel motivated to learn and reap the many rewards of your courses. Now, let's move on to your course description. The upper left-hand corner of Greg's lesson plan template provides you space for your course description. Course descriptions provide the foundation for a well-built training course. A course description not only tells the audience what to expect in a training experience, it is a motivational marketing tool to engage interest and increase participation. Here are some tips that you can use to develop successful course descriptions. Number 1. Start with a thought-provoking or compelling statement. There's no rule that says course descriptions have to be dull. In fact, why not open your course description with an attention-grabbing statement or a question that encourages your potential learners to think about how a particular course might benefit them in the real world? Number 2. Include keywords that are relevant and engaging. When learners are looking for a course that's going to offer them a skill set or knowledge they need, they're probably going to be searching for specific keywords. This is particularly true for online searches, such as potential learners who are using Google to look for an online course, or searching a course catalog in their organizational or academic university. 3. Avoid complicated vocabulary or industry-specific jargon. It's usually unwise to use an abundance of complex words, technical jargon, or slang when creating your course description. For example, if you include words like hands-on or interactive course in the description, these might be too vague for potential learners. Not to mention, they can mean many different things to different people. 4. Use action words or phrases. Learners aren't drawn to a course description to just tell them what they're going to learn. They'll need something more engaging, exciting, and interactive. What they're looking for is action words or phrases that will get them motivated to learn. Use words like explore or discover in order to make them feel as though they're active participants in the course experience. 5. Avoid redundancies. The main purpose of your course description is to give your audience a quick and organized overview of why they should sign up or purchase your course. While the course title should convince them to read the description should make them want to learn more about the course itself by continuing on to the syllabus or the course overview or registering for the course itself. 6. Keep it short and simple. One of the most helpful course description tips I can share with you is to keep it concise, short, and straightforward. Ideally, you want your course description to be less than 130 words, as readers usually won't have the time or take the time to read a more lengthy description, even if it's interesting and exciting. And 7th and finally, address them directly. When readers are reading your course description, they ultimately want to feel as though you're speaking to them. Rather than writing your course description in the third person, such as students of this course, address them directly by using you or implied throughout your old content. By doing this, you'll form a connection with them and they will be able to better picture themselves taking your course. The next step of developing your lesson plan is creating your learning objectives. The upper right-hand corner of Greg's lesson plan template provides you space for your learning objectives. Generally, learning objectives are written in terms of learning outcomes. What do you want your trainees to learn as a result of your lesson? Follow this 3-step formula for creating great learning objectives. Step 1. Create a STEM. The STEM identifies the context of the learning outcome. Think about the STEM as preparing the learner to know what to expect and when. Some STEM examples include, after completing the lesson, the student will be able to, or after this unit, the student will have. Step 2. Add an action verb. Add an action verb to identify the learning action that will take place. Action verbs might include analyze, recognize, compare, provide, list, etc. Step 3. Identify the actual product, process, or outcome. Once you have a STEM and a verb, determine the actual product, process, or outcome of your learning. An example might be, as seen here, after completing the session, learners will recognize the importance of well-designed lesson plans. The fourth and final major element of a lesson plan template is your learning content. The remainder of Greg's lesson plan template, as you see here, provides space for your learning content, organized by time, activity, notes, and materials needed. You will need to develop clear content and plan delivery to meet your learning objectives. I suggest you use the ROPES model for the design and development of your training content. Let's take a look. There is more to a lesson plan than outlining training content. Content should be developed using a series of steps designed to help participants learn and practice new skills. The ROPES model, standing for Review, Overview, Presentation, Exercise, and Summary, provides a systematic approach to developing your lesson plan content. Include these following 5 steps when developing your learning content. Step 1. Develop the review. Include the lesson topic. Have participants share their knowledge or related past experience. Recognize potential resources and possible obstacles within the group. Step 2. Develop the overview. Summarize and organize the activities that will occur in your lesson. Your content will focus on a few central ideas or skills. You'll provide an overview of these essential and related concepts for your learning objectives. List your key topics and their related concepts and group them together. Establish why it's important for participants to learn that training content. Step 3. Develop the presentation. Once you have a general idea of what you'll need to cover, draft your presentation content. List all of the points you'll need to cover in the order in which you need to cover them. Use the tell then show training approach. Tell the participants what they need to know and then show them how to do it. It's best to use several different presentation approaches to keep learners engaged and to appeal to people with different learning styles. Consider using a myriad of training methods outlined in your resources when it comes to training and development. Once you've decided which training methods to use, note them in your template. Step 4. Develop the exercise. Develop methods for participants to practice what they've learned. Make sure you provide feedback on their performance. Build in learning checks, question and answer sessions, and include engagement and interaction in your template. Step 5. Develop the summary. Finally, summarize the learning, stressing critical points related to your learning objectives. Provide an avenue to answer participant questions. Discuss how participants will apply their newly learned skills. Use this 5-step ROPES model to develop your learning content. This will provide you the foundation for developing a great lesson plan. Now, go develop that lesson plan using Greg's lesson plan template.